maybe 14 to 16 points. So I'll go Hull KR by 14.
No argument. I'm sure they'll be very confident after their performance last week. I'd go Hull KR by 16 points.
Okay, and the televised match on Thursday night, also 7:45 p.m. kickoff on Sky Sports. It's Hull FC versus Leeds. This one is intriguing for me. What do you think?
No, I think it's one of the two highlight games of the round, along with Warrington versus Wigan. I think Hull will be smarting after last week, losing away at Huddersfield. I'm sure they'll have had their nose to the grindstone this week, and they'll be in a better place than they were last week. They're also at home, but Leeds have been playing better. Comprehensively beat Salford, but they've also had the Gale upset. Come on, it's nip and tuck, but I am going to go with Hull. I think in a narrow game, maybe Hull by a score, 6 points.
I think Hull will be much better for that run out last week, for sure. I don't know. I don't think they're expecting anyone like Connor back, or Reynolds, which would have been a big swing in their favour. You've gone Hull FC, so I will see my coin land on the other side, and I'll go Leeds. Leeds by 2.
Oof. Should be a good game, Mark. Should be a good game.
Yeah, of course, one game that won't be a good game because it won't be happening is Lee versus Castleford. That was scheduled for Thursday night. So, second week in a row that Lee lose their fixture because of problems with the opposition being able to raise the team because of COVID. So, yes, unfortunate. And I'm guessing that Huddersfield and Lee haven't had a postponed game between them. Otherwise, they could have played this week, couldn't they? But not to be.
Not to be.
Who have they? No, and they've not had postponements against Hull KR either. They've got fixtures due to come against Hull KR. So I don't know if anyone had been moving fixtures forward that are already scheduled in. I'm not sure that would happen this year. So yeah, interesting. We'll find out. Championship game of the week, Featherstone versus Toulouse. We talked about it. Sunday 3 p.m. Let's hope Featherstone don't have any problems with that they've had last couple of weeks missing some players. Maybe if they get to closer to a full strength as well. Toulouse are always battling for being able to play games, aren't they, this year? That's the main issue for Toulouse. But when they have played, they've been pretty much dynamite. They haven't played for 2 weeks now, but I think this could be an absolute cracker.
I think it could be a cracker, as I said earlier. I mean, the two Sky games are very attractive this week, but I don't think they're any more attractive than this game. I'd love to be able to watch this game on Sunday. I think it'll be a snorter. I don't know. I wouldn't know which way to call it. But I'd probably head towards Featherstone because I think they're going to be just on a high after the way they've played recently, and I think they might just get over rusty Toulouse.
I think Toulouse must be getting something right because they never really turn up looking rusty. Averaging 50 points, whatever it is this season. So it's going to be the top place decider. I can't split the two teams right now, so it'll be great to see how they're split after this game. League One game of the week, assuming it goes ahead, because Workington have had some COVID challenges. Workington versus Barrow Sunday at 2 p.m. If that game doesn't go ahead, then the game of the week is Scholars versus Coventry.
Yeah, that sounds fair enough.
NRL Brit picks: Broncos versus Cowboys Friday at 11:05, Dragons versus Rabbitohs Saturday at 6, Knights versus Raiders Saturday at 8:30, and Bulldogs versus Titans Sunday at 5 a.m. Thompson going up against his former coach, the man who brought out the best in him.
Indeed.
So make sure you get your fan views in on any of those games that do go ahead, and any other rugby league action, of course, that you catch over the next week for us to talk about. Remember, with those Super League games, that you've only got until Friday evening to get your fan review, for Friday tea time, let's say, to get your fan reviews in on those, and then we'll have a whole new raft of Super League games for the back end of the weekend to talk about. So please be prompt. So then we've got plenty to talk about. I'm sure the Sky Games will have no controversy that I'll have nothing to talk about, and then it'll be a boring show. But otherwise, let's hope otherwise. So yeah, get your fan views in on all of that. But that's pretty much it for this week, other than to wrap things up. Wrap up for the 311th time then, David, and I hope you've got a quiz for me, because I didn't write one.
And I only read your rundown about 3/4 of an hour before we started today, Mark, and then I saw I needed to do a quiz, so I put my skates on. How good a quiz it'll be, I have no idea, but we'll give it a crack.
Okay. I'm excited.
So, yeah, good. So we've said during the course of the show that at present Catalan are the best side in the league, and I agree with that. So I'm going to ask some Catalan related questions.
Oh, exciting.
But being Brit, I want it to be I give it a little bit of an England flavour.
Oh, Alan will be fuming. He was thinking, "God, it's going to be all questions about Yes Papa and the Butcher," but no.
Sorry, Alan. Can you tell me, out of Catalan's 27-man first team squad, how many players were born in England?
Okay. I'm counting in my head. Hold on, I'll be quiet whilst I'm doing it though. Unless you want me to name the players as we go.
Well, it'll be interesting to hear.
Right, okay, well let's name the players then. Tom Davies, Sam Tompkins, Joel Tompkins, Matt Whitley, Mike McMeekan. Born in England. So does that rule out Gil Dudson? I'm pretty sure he was born in Wales. So I'm still at 5. Michael McAlorum. 6. There must be another, but I can't. No, I'm going with 6.
You're correct. It's 6. You didn't fall for the trick question, which is Gil Dudson wasn't born in England. He was born, as you correctly say, in Wales.
He was never born. He just always existed as a seaside caricature. I've told you. He's lifting weights by the beach at Barry Island.
Yes.
You can put your face through his head, have a photo. That's Gil Dudson.
Yeah.
That's his origin story.
I'm going to make the rest of this quiz a little bit easier. We'll now focus in on your hometown, Mark. So,
what?
Of the 6 English players in Catalan's team, how many were born in Wigan?
1. Tom Davies.
2. Matt Whiteley was also born in Wigan. He was born on the Wigan end of Billinge.
I always think Whitley's from Billinge, but I couldn't have told you, I guess, which hospital he was born in. But yeah, no, fair enough.
It's like Cyprus, it's divided down the middle, Billinge, And he unfortunately for him, he was on the wrong side of the line. So he was born in Wigan. He counts as in Wigan. So it's 2. And then to finish off on this Wigan-themed Catalan quiz, can you tell me where Joel and Sam Tompkins were born?
Well, Sam Tompkins was born in Milton Keynes. Joel Tompkins...
You can have half a point for the Sam.
Joel Tompkins, now... Was he born before they moved down to the Midlands? Or was he born somewhere else in the Midlands? He wasn't born in Milton Keynes. So... I don't know, Chorley.
Warrington.
Ah.
Good effort though. You're definitely getting 1.5 points.
I think Logan might have been born in Chorley then. Maybe.
There you go. So that's a Catalan, slightly Wigan themed quiz for the week. You did very well. I think you did better than I would have done.
Yeah. Although just to clarify, I don't live in Wigan and I'm not from.
No, I know. But you're an honorary Wiganer.
Oh, of course I am. Yeah. I am still. If you cut me, I still bleed cherry and white. Mostly because we've all got red and white blood cells, but largely because of my club allegiance. Yeah.
Very good, Mark. Should we wrap up?
Well, I think you must have some recommendations for us because you've been on your holes.
I have. So I'd recommend 2 things from the holes that I've already recommended Borough Market from my day out in London, which was brilliant. I would encourage anybody who's going down to London, make the time to go and visit Borough Market. Take some money with you and don't weigh yourself for a few days afterwards because the food there is quite excellent. I'd have 2 other recommendations. One would be if you're down in the Norfolk, we're down in Norfolk, and we spent the first few days actually on the way into Norfolk around Cambridgeshire. A visit to Ely is worth doing. Very, very nice cathedral, really nice old medieval buildings around the centre, high up in the fens. It's one of the only high points up in the fens. So that's very much worth a visit. I'd also strongly recommend, and I'm not a royalist at all, but strongly recommend a visit to Sandringham. Okay. I was very impressed by Sandringham. It's massive. It's absolutely massive woodlands and hills around there with great views. The gardens and so on at Sandringham are very impressive. We didn't go in the house.
She didn't let you in?
No, she wouldn't. Liz wasn't having it, to be quite honest. But it was really good, and the chapel where they go at Christmas and so on was also extremely impressive, and they're very knowledgeable guides, and I thought it was a terrific place to work. I'm very interested in gardens anyway, and the gardens there are, as you would understand, quite spectacular. Well worth a visit. How about you, Mark?
Well, since you've done 3 recommendations, I'm just going to talk about something more than recommend it. But I'm loving the Olympics.
Oh yeah.
I'm hating the fact that there's no crowds.
Yeah.
I just got used to like living without that world, so I'm hating that aspect of it. But I'm really enjoying it. Last night, yesterday afternoon, I fell asleep watching the 100. I know, David. The fact that I was watching it is bad enough, but anyway.
Oh.
So I fell asleep watching the 100, but then because I'd fallen asleep, I had to get the rundown finished off. And then I was just finished that off as the triathlon started, pretty much. So I watched the triathlon until half 12. So I went to sleep just after we'd won a silver medal. I missed P